Welcome to the Marketing Smarts Live Show by MarketingProfs and the Marketing Smarts Podcast, where we dive into B2B news, resources, valuable guest content, and much, much more each and every week. If you're a B2B marketer looking for a place to learn, keep up to date, and have some fun along the way, well, grab a beverage, a notepad, or at least some style of writing utensil, and welcome to the show. Hello to all my Marketing Smarts Live viewers today. I'm super excited to bring you episode 56 of the Marketing Smarts Live Show. This week's topic is all about a playbook for you that is marketing-led growth. So if you're ready to get your learn on, buckle up and let's get ready to rock and roll. Hey, I'm your boy, George B. Thomas, speaker, trainer, catalyst, and host of this here show, the Marketing Smarts Live Show, as well as the Marketing Smarts Podcast found on your favorite podcast app. Our guest clips today are brought to you by none other than Amrita Mathur. Amrita joined Superside at its first marketing hire in 2019. There was no product, no platform, and no reoccurring revenue, a marketer's dream, if you will. No stranger to being called in when companies are at a strategic inflection point with their growth strategy. Amrita did what she spent a career in B2B marketing, learning how to do and implemented a marketing-led growth strategy that translated into $8 million in subscription revenue in the first year and 400% year-over-year growth since then. Now, as VP of Marketing, Amrita and her team are revolutionizing design at scale for ambitious brands such as Amazon, Meta, Shopify, and Coinbase. Now, remember, the clips of Amrita Mathur today are pulled from the full Marketing Smarts podcast episode. And if you want to listen to the full interview with Amrita and myself, make sure to tune in to the Marketing Smarts podcast. Link to the full show will be in the description below after the live show ends. That's right. All the right links in all the right places at just the right time. Now, in this episode, again, I'm talking to Amrita Mathur about a playbook for marketing-led growth. In this first clip, I wanted to ask Amrita if there was one massive universal tip the B2B marketers should be leveraging for growth. While her initial answer was no to the massive universal tip, she did share several things along the way in the story that she tells. So, let's take a minute or two and take a listen.
Yeah, there's no universal tip. I mean, just picking up from where you left off in the last section, there is something to be said about, in the early days, just like optimizing for speed of learning, kind of like what you said, and really setting up your go-to-market, your experiments, etc., in a way that you just get a ton of data back, and then you can observe that and then, refine a bit further. I'll just use a simple example for that. So when we were launching Superside, we had spent a few months figuring out, hey, what's the messaging? What's the positioning? How are we going to talk about ourselves? What's this website going to look like? We didn't even have the name Superside. We didn't have the .com. So we did all of that setup, right? And then we were ready to launch in September of 2019, and we did. And, I'm like freaking out. I was like, is anyone going to want this thing? Like, what's going to happen? And I remember I was freaking out, and my boss said to me, like, listen, don't have this thing about like leads and revenue in your mind, just optimize for your speed of learning. And so that gave me permission to say, okay, where can I invest from a channel's perspective that gives me that speed? And I said, okay, because I'm optimizing not for revenue, but for tons and tons of data, I'm going to go all in on paid social. I know that this can get in front of a lot of people very quickly in the right way, on Facebook, Instagram, etc. And let me try that first. And so we tried Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. And then within 4 weeks, we were like, okay, Instagram is where it's at. That's where we were getting a ton of the data. That's where we're getting tons of traffic coming through. And we were like, okay, let's just put all our little minuscule budget that we had against Instagram. And we just went full throttle. And then anybody that came to our website and converted, we had a conversation with. The main call to action was book a demo. And we were really trying to make sure that people understood what they were getting a demo about, and it wasn't this nebulous thing. And then we just clocked every single conversation. we just like discussed it. There was like a very tiny sales team. There was like 2 people, I think, at the time. So it was like them, head of sales, me, a couple other people. We would just like go through every conversation and like learn. We looked at where they came in, what website pages they visited, what kind of questions they had, what objections they had. And then we'd be like, everybody asked about this one thing. Okay, we should put that on the homepage, or we should put that on the landing page, right? So we just like had this, again, amazing tight loop, and really optimized for as much data as possible, rather than be like, ooh, I'm going to optimize it for the best quality leads or the most amazing revenue in the world. That's going to come. The revenue will follow once I've learned. And my boss gave me that permission to do that.
Did you hear that nugget? Optimize for the speed of learning. Are you running marketing experiments right now? Are you going through customer conversations or conversions to be able to listen and get that data? What takeaways are you then leveraging from your marketing and that data you're getting? And did you hear that major takeaway? The revenue will come once you've learned. Boom! I'm just saying, that is a nugget that should be on X and Instagram and everywhere else. Anyway, I have to ask, do you have a loop between your customers, lessons learned, and then new marketing that you're putting out? Put the answer to that in the chat pane, or let me know on X using the hashtag MPB2B. And of course, tag me using @GeorgeB.Thomas. Now we'll get back to Amrita Mathur and her thoughts on a playbook for marketing-led growth. But first, I have to ask, are you part of the MarketingProfs community? If not, become part of the MarketingProfs community by heading over to mprofs.com/MP today. That's mprofs.com/MP today. Now, it's time for one of my favorite sections of our live show in the B2B News, where we talk about breaking B2B news or really important tips we find on the Google News tab related to you and your B2B business. This week, the title is Humanizing B2B Marketing, What Most Brands Get Wrong by Paroma Sen. Your B2B marketing has the potential to drive deeper impact if it's humanized in a more strategic manner. With the ton of marketing automation choices available to marketers today, the biggest issue is that many B2B marketing teams end up writing mass mails to prospects who aren't really in market for their product or service, or they end up writing to those that genuinely have no interest, zero. While these are 2 of the common factors that may affect eventual marketing ROI, the other lies in not humanizing the B2B marketing efforts or the content well. Ready to learn a few key immediate factors for modern B2B marketing teams to consider in order to get ahead when it comes to humanizing their B2B marketing efforts? Then to read this article, check out that link below when the live show is over. All the right links in all the right places at just the right time. Now, let's get back to Amrita Mathur and her Marketing Smarts podcast episode. In this next clip, I wanted to ask Amrita, what is one pothole or hurdle to watch out for as you seek marketing-led growth in your organization? And here's what she wanted to share with us. Let's take a look.
Yeah, I mean, the most common one and the notorious one that we've all been part of at some point in our lives, I mean, I certainly have, is that you can very easily become a sales support function. Or if you're a company that is almost entirely PLG and product-led growth, you can just become like a brand person, where your entire job is to make things look pretty and the voice and tone and whatever else. And it's not, and really it's the product team that's calling all the shots and driving the bus on how people experience the product and what the path from freemium to, or whatever it is, the first trial or freemium it is, up to upgrades. So marketing just becomes, in both of those scenarios, when it's sales-led growth or PLG, we become a support function. There's actually nothing wrong with that, but it's extremely important to clarify the role of marketing. And it's very important for you personally to clarify how you are going to tie yourself to actual revenue and actual dollars, and optimize your entire roadmap, your marketing plan, to working on the things that actually enable that. And if you come to the conclusion, oh, hey, I'm going to do all these 5-10 things here, and I don't know if it's going to actually drive revenue, I mean, maybe you shouldn't be there. Maybe you should be like, hey, these are some side things that should be taken care of, but maybe the product team can, or maybe the sales team can. So it's a long way of saying you don't need to be a marketing team at a company that doesn't do marketing. If you're literally sales support or product support, that's not marketing. Like, you're in the wrong place.
Tons of tips in that answer. Question: are you okay, or are you stuck in that pothole? Or, as Amrita stated, are you in the wrong place? I hope not, but if so, you have a little bit of a roadmap that you can follow thanks to that clip to get you headed in the right direction. Now, we'll get back to Amrita in a few minutes, but first, it's time for some dope B2B learnings from the vault of MarketingProfs articles. That's right, it's time to dig into the treasure trove of valuable information and pull out 2 pieces of gold to help you be a better B2B marketer. Article number 1 this week is The Marketing Growth Triad: Data, Tech, and Creativity by Ali Bancroft. The modern business world has become more measurable and data-driven than ever before. As enterprises become more performance and measurement-oriented, investors and business leaders are prioritizing increases in organic growth and market share to measure returns and success. Although many marketing teams can feel the shift across multiple lines of business, it's been especially noticeable for B2B marketers. That's right, for you. As their roles, your roles, have evolved, marketers have been tasked by their companies with driving business growth. In fact, 78% of CEOs are now relying on marketing leaders to drive growth, according to research from McKinsey & Co. Want to keep learning more about this article and what you can do? Then check the links below. Article number 2 this week is Growing Pains and Marketing at Scale: 5 Key Lessons from B2B Marketing Leaders by Emily Sue Tomac. Growth initiatives have been one of the main factors driving adoption of marketing automation, and scalability is one of the most important considerations for buyers and users evaluating marketing automation products. Marketing leaders who have experience with rapid company growth, some of them have successfully helped scale multiple companies. Others are now working on major growth initiatives. All of them shared lessons and advice on the following: the role of marketing in driving growth, what it means to think like a growth marketer, new challenges that arise with scale, and how to approach them. Want to keep learning more? If so, check out the links in the description below after the live show to get access to both amazing MarketingProfs articles and the lessons with inside of them. All right, back to Amrita. Let's dive back into this conversation of a playbook for marketing-led growth. In this clip, I wanted to ask, what does success look like, and what success metrics do you think B2B marketers should be looking at? She gave us a great answer and some tips for you to grab and use in the future as well. Let's listen in and learn.
Well, listen, do we all like cheers and relish the fact that we hit our ARR goals at the end of the year, or at the end of the quarter even? Yeah, absolutely. So that's like a great moment. That's a very important success metric. And fortunately at our company, we don't have to do this we don't have to have this weird conversation around, ooh, how much of this revenue is marketing sourced versus sales sourced versus product sourced. We don't have to have that, because we're an inbound shop, so everything comes through marketing. It's 100% marketing sourced. Various people have touched it, but it's 100% marketing. So thankfully, we're not that type of company. But yeah, I think the nirvana is actually hitting your goals. First of all, setting realistic expectations is a very important piece of the puzzle. And I just want to address that for 1 minute. At companies, sometimes those metrics and those models are built by finance. Sometimes they're built by sales. Sometimes it's a combination of the two. At our company, marketing used to build all of it from scratch for many years, and only recently have we transitioned it to finance. But the model is set. How we think about it is set, and marketing has huge input in that. So what that allows us to do is actually have a realistic target. We sit there and say, in order for us to hit this target, we would actually have to improve win rate from our standard 20% to 22. Is that doable? Yes, it is. We'd have to improve our deal size from, 9,000 a month to whatever, 11,000 a month. Is that realistic? No, not really. Let's lower that to something conservative to 9.5, right? So there's all these levers. We understand those levers extremely well, and we all align on what is actually going to improve, what is actually going to happen, build in a little bit of buffer. So what you get at the end of the day is, oh, here's a realistic ARR target. Great. Awesome. Once that's set, when you start hitting those goals every single month, it's important to relish that. It's important to celebrate that. It's important to reflect on what you did right that got you there, and some missed opportunities as well. It's okay to talk about some of the missed opportunities. It's a lost opportunity cost. It's like, oh damn, I wish I had invested in YouTube earlier because wow, it's really paying off. I wish I'd started this in May of last year rather than November of last year, right? Those are the kinds of conversations that hopefully the team is mature enough to have, so you can be like, okay, I'm not going to make this mistake next time. I'm going to move faster next time, or I'm going to call the failure early next time, or what have you.
Are you reflecting on what you did right? What about the possible missed opportunities? Are you taking time to relish the success moments in your organization? We're going to get some words of wisdom from Amrita here in a few minutes, but right now it's time to turn the spotlight on you, the MarketingProfs community. Yep, time for From the hashtag MPB2B community. We searched far and wide in the hashtag MPB2B universe to find amazing information and conversations to bring to you, the masses. So first, make sure you're using the hashtag, and second, make sure you have fun and add value to the community along the way. Then we'll spotlight you or your crew on the show. This week, it's Carlos Hidalgo, or Chidalgo on X. And what Carlos have to say? What's hard is also extraordinary at Ann Handley. Hashtag MPB2B, hashtag B2B, hashtag innovation. But to be honest, you need to check out the description, click on that link, check out the post and the graphic that's along with it. Marketing Smarts viewers, I have to ask, are you going to be next to get the spotlight shined on you? Remember, community, use the hashtag MPB2B on Facebook, LinkedIn, or X and get the light shined on your awesomeness in the next episode or a future episode of the Marketing Smarts live show. Pro tip, it won't hurt if you tag me in your post as well. I'm at George B. Thomas on LinkedIn and X, Mr. George B. Thomas on the Book of Faces. Okay, let's kick it back to Amrita Mathur and some words of wisdom around this topic of a playbook for you that is marketing-led growth. Here is what Amrita wanted to leave us with pertaining to words of wisdom. Listen up.
Oh my gosh. Wow. I feel like there's way too much to say, but I'll leave you with a fun one, which is your buyer personas are probably wrong. They're probably wrong. What I really mean by that is they need to be revisited extremely often, like quite often, more than you think. People change, industries change. There's like macro trends everywhere. Things ebb and flow and shift in ways that you can't see unless you're deliberate about figuring that out and finding that out. So whatever buyer personas Superside had, when we started this thing in 2019, we call them the same things, but how they buy, what they care about, what their selfish needs and desires are, they have absolutely changed. And that's probably true for every single industry in every single space. So I'll leave you with that, to find ways to kind of really know your buyer and know your audience.
I had to laugh at her words of wisdom. When is the last time you went through your buyer personas, and are you using them? Every time someone converts or purchases a product or service from your organization. That's probably an entire live show in the future on its own. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, have you enjoyed today's journey? Let us know. Use that hashtag MPB2B on whatever platform you're joining us on. It's time. That's right. Flies when you're having fun. Head to the description below. Click on the link to the full Marketing Smarts podcast with Amrita Mathur and keep on learning more about a playbook for your marketing-led growth. Remember, these were just a few clips of the original Marketing Smarts podcast interview. If you got value from today's show, hit that like, and better yet, share it with a friend. To keep learning more, hit subscribe or watch additional Marketing Profs videos on your favorite social channel, or head over to our YouTube channel if you're not there yet. Or you can go tune into the original Marketing Smarts podcast episode on your favorite podcast app. Don't forget to become part of the Marketing Profs community by heading over to mprofs.com/MP today. And as always, remember to be a happy, helpful, humble B2B marketing human. And we'll see you on the next episode of the Marketing Smarts Live Show next week.